A Vinton woman trying to spread a positive message about pit bulls tonight as Roanoke police investigate a possible case of animal abuse and neglect involving 4 dogs of that breed.
3 of the dogs are dead, but the woman was able to rescue the 4th. 10 News reporter Coulter Anstad joins us now in studio. And Coulter, what did the woman say?
Yeah, Brittany, she believes this case is more disturbing than the case involving Tommy the dog in Richmond earlier this year, which gained national attention. The dog was intentionally set on fire and eventually died. The woman I spoke to wants people to know pit bulls are not as bad as people often make them out to be.
They are just such great dogs. I've always been a pit bull owner.
On Friday night, a Vinton woman took this pit bull from her friend's mother's house to care for it. The woman says the dog and 3 others were staying at her friend's mother's house as a favor for a friend of the friend. 3 of the dogs were found dead in the basement Friday night. She says 1 was half eaten. The Vinton woman has since surrendered the lone surviving dog to animal control so an investigation can be done, but she worries animal control may be doing more harm than good.
I took care of her for X amount of days, and she's used to my family and my animals. Why wouldn't you allow her to be successful in my home and, learn a different way of life than what she was taught? And so that's my concern. I mean, they did tell me in about 20 days or so that they would have full custody and then I could possibly get her, but until then, she's just being locked away. It's just sad because, here it is, another case with these dogs dead, and the first thing, oh, pit bulls are vicious, but no, the people that own them are vicious.
I reached out to the police department today for comment and to get video of the dog, but I was told the department is not commenting, and to protect the integrity of the investigation, the department does not want any video of the dog being publicized. The woman says she does plan to try to adopt the pit bull once it is available. So far, no charges have been filed in this case. Live in studio, Coulter Anstad, 10 News, working for you.